I am back. What it do, baby?
Hey guys, couldn't hear you there over all this horsepower. Do you guys like nitrous? Do you guys like silver Mustangs? Do you guys like carburetors? Well, if you like carburetors, you're in the wrong spot. Because we don't like carburetors. We got EFIs, we got rips in our jeans.
Pow. Pow.
Now, if you guys want to win this gem, 6-liter pistons rods, nitrous, Holley EFI, this could be yours. All you got to do is go to lsnasty.com. It's the first link in the description below. And any item you purchase is an entry to win this thing. We got boxers, we got socks, we got shirts, we got hats, we got stickers, we got flags, we got posters coming soon. Signed posters. You can have that. And you can have this. All you got to do to get entered is go to lsnasty.com. Every item you purchase is an entry to win. You're not going to win if you don't get an item. You don't get entered. You got no chance. So all you got to do, first link in the description below, shop around. We got some new shirts out there. We got some new hats out there. We got some new shirts coming. We got the fries that'll cross your eyes. We got the shakes that'll make you quake. We got
everything.
We got it. Yeah, we got it all. I mean, we got it all. Go to lsnasty.com. Check this stuff out. You can win this whole ass car, and you can definitely pick you up someone good looking at your local racetrack with this. Enjoy today's video. All right, guys, back in the shop. We've been doing a lot of racing. Did you clap? Did you just clap? People are commenting saying I'm not allowed to clap anymore. We are back in the shop, and we are working on everyone's favorite hot dog / lizard named Mustang, the Glizzard. And we're going to stick all of this stuff in the car. We got Timmy over here on the engine hoist. Say what's up, Timmy.
What up?
We got Matt over here, and we're going to drop some knowledge on you guys a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're going to be setting motor in there, motor plate, mid plate, and get the transmission in the car. The setup on this, I've mentioned it a bunch of times before, we'll go over it again in case you're new to this video, new to the channel. TKM built 460 cubic inch LSX Frankenstein heads, Dragon Slayer crank, MGP rods, diamond fully skirted pistons, Frankenstein F110S heads, T&D rocker arms, solid roller, custom TCAM camshaft. If you guys aren't aware, Kevin Mullins probably makes the most badass LS camshafts ever. He makes all the camshafts badass, but his LS stuff's like next level. We got the Black Sheep camshaft, which is hydraulic roller record holder. We got
some serious RPM with it.
We turned 8,000 RPM to the hydraulic roller LS, and it literally has not fallen off one bit. We got a twin turbo Mustang over here that's rocking the Lamb Cam. That's been in Justin Swanstrom's car. I think it's been like 480s, and that one is set up to run off of like a factory style rocker arm and LS7 lifter. The Black Sheep camshaft is set up to run off of an adjustable rocker arm with an aftermarket lifter. And then they have the big stick, which I have my daily driver, which absolutely beats the ground, sounds good. I have to carry a big stick to beat all the girls away from me, or else I can't get to where I'm going.
Yep.
And then this one has, I think Kevin calls this one the cock cam, because it was originally going to be the boosted rooster camshaft, and then it was slightly modified for a blower setup. So you're going to have to privately inquire about the cock cam with Kevin at TCAM Performance.
Yep.
But this thing is massive. I think it's like 800 inches of lift. Does that sound about right? Is that right? Like, I don't...
It could be...
no, it's massive. It's 800...
It's massive.
Yeah.
800.
Yeah, 800... Not 1 inch of lift, but 800... Wait, 0.8.
0.8. Not
800 inches of lift. That would be a massive cam. That would literally be a massive camshaft.
Huge cock.
Gay!
Yeah, that'd be a massive cock cam. Yeah, so that's set up on the engine. It's set up like 13 to 1, 12.5 to 1 compression, so it should be pretty good. I think we're going to run the car in M5. Right on the ground right there, you can see it's got a ProCharger F1X with a gear drive on there. And then it's got a Mickey 2-speed 400 with a JW Bellhausen that we're going to be putting in there. So today's video, we're going to be setting it in the car. We're going to be talking about crankshaft center line, getting the... Or you could just buy a swap K-member, but this one doesn't have a swap K-member.
Yeah, we're running mid-plate, motor plate, so we're going to be... this car originally had a modular engine in it, so now we're going to be going to a LS. So we're going to be changing the mid-plate and motor plate, trans-cross member. So this is going to be a little bit more different than typically what you do, because normally you'd have it on a chassis jig or you'd have it on the ground. You get the car ride height set where you want it, and then you figure out where you want your crank center line. But... we don't really have it on the ground, so...
But we have a great template to go off of.
We have a great template, so we know where our crankshaft center line is going to be on some of these other cars, and we're going to measure for cross member clearance. We don't have a pan, but we have a pan on the Black Sheep, because I think we're going to run the same pan, because this is going to be external wet sump system, just like the Sheep. So we'll measure some clearance there, try to get it in there, get it mocked up. Got some tools here, some fabrication tools, and alignment tools. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pulling plumb bob off all the parts of the chassis, get the chassis to where we find out where our center line is in square. The rear end is not centered, but we're going to center the engine because later on we're probably going to go to a different housing and that will be centered. So drive shaft will have a little bit of an offset, not really ideal, but rather
right now it's not a deal.
Yeah, I mean it's.
We'll put a 9-inch in eventually.
9-inch or something else. So we're going to do that. We're going to get our center line, get our mid plate mounted. And once the mid plate's mounted, we're going to set the motor in there, get our drive line angle, and then we're going to put the motor plate on there and build some new tabs for the motor plate. So
also we might throw in titanium 4-link bars. Sorry, titanium lower control arms.
Yeah.
Cameron Johnson race cars, you guys can get those. They're
definitely sweet.
They're badass.
Oh yeah.
Direct bolt in for all you guys that are running inboard coilovers. It's just a badass lower control arm.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome setup. So do some plumb bob. We'll get some marks on the floor. We'll show you how to do the get everything square. Figure out where you're gonna. If you're doing a mid plate and a motor plate, if you're doing it at home, the best thing to do is if you have a camera that has motor mounts, you can just kind of set the motor in there, bolt the motor plate and the mid plate to it, and then build tabs to it, and then you just cut the motor mount tabs off. You're good. This one doesn't have that, so we're gonna go and show you just kind of how to do it. It's not, like I said, it's not ideal. So a lot of you chassis guys are gonna be like, oh, it needs to be on a jig, and you're doing it backwards. But for what we got now, we're gonna do it, and it's gonna work all right for us.
Yeah. What do you say ET wise? If this thing ran, would you be impressed with?
I think some 30s. If we really get after it. I mean, the blower, it depends on how heavy it is. I mean, the doors are kind of heavy. They're power doors. If we get the car light, then it's going to be easier to go fast. But I think the blower.
If we went 30s with an F1X, I think that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're going to be. I think we're going to be cooking if we do that. So, yeah. But this is going to be, we got to really focus. We got to have something. You can't be like, oh, I want to go race small block boost with this because it's not competitive. It could be running that, but I mean, these guys are running teens and O's, so you're gonna have to go way faster than 30s. But this would be a good, like, hey, we're going to Red Springs, Galot on a Thursday night.
Locking a grudge race.
Yeah, 28 shootout. Something that's like, hey, we only got to run 30s, and the track is the equalizer. Because if you're on a really, really good track and somebody's got a really fast car, we're probably not gonna keep up with them. If the track's mediocre, you can only go so fast on that track. So something like this will be competitive. So
all right, well, let's get to it. The car's pretty nice. It's got a bunch of bars in it. 25.5 stock front and rear suspension car. I did lop the frame rail off, which we did question if I cut too much off of, but I think we'll be fine. We measured, and if we're going to use these tabs for the mid plate, so we're going to unbolt this, and then we're going to use our LS mid plate on the back side of that, and then we should be right about here for the motor plate.
So do that, and then worry about the steering shaft. And
that's a long ass steer. Why is that like that?
I think it's just a rack design. They have some that are short and long, so it doesn't really matter. The best thing, I mean, you don't worry about anything. Just like on Slick Rick, we didn't worry about the steering shaft. We didn't worry about anything else. You just want to get the motor in there, because there's some things you can move and some things you can't. You can't move the motor around, so you just put the motor in there and make everything fit around it.
Just to confirm, did you say steering shaft?
Steering shaft. I've
been
been hanging around Logan.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I've been hanging around Logan too much. Like,
all right.
Just wearing off on
well, we got the engine hoist over here. I'll take the intake off, and we'll get to putting this thing on there.
All right, I kind of assisted Matt plumb bob car.
Yeah.
Plumb bob car. Got a center line of the chassis. So the rear end is offset a little bit, factory forward. Was it 3/4 inch?
5/8, but they vary so much. These cars when they came out, some of them are 1 inch, some of them are 5/8. It's just whenever they build it. I think the target for them to build it was 5/8, but that is on this one's about 3/4 inch offset.
So we're gonna set the motor centered in there with the anticipation of getting a 9-inch to center 9-inch in there, and
cut the trans tunnel out of it. Do a drive shaft enclosure. Maybe add an upper frame rail to where it's a little bit more
rigid. I will say the 25, the Mustang stuff's pretty good. They're a little flimsy of a car. The 25.5 stuff, like the Bad Apples, is true 25.5. It doesn't have an upper frame rail on it. That car, torques up, totes the front left more than the front right. Like the Black Sheep, if you see, it either has the front tires up or the front tires down. It doesn't have any real flex in there. And that's kind of what Bob's doing with the Colorado as well, is building it stiff, so it's not a soft pretzel, as Bob would say. So something like this, being that we're going to center the motor, we're going to cut it already has the top of the transmission enclosure cut out of it, so we're just going to cut the rest of it out all the way back to really the bulkhead, and we'll do a drive shaft enclosure. I'll do an upper frame rail on it, and then we'll do a belly pan, so you'll just be chilling next to the transmission like you are in Slick Rick. The Colorado essentially has the same thing, except I mean the whole complete transmission enclosure is cut out, and the double frame rail is just running there. And then you can Zeus in. Makes it way easier to work on a car. Being able to
access the transmission from inside.
Put the top bell housing bolts in. You literally just un-Zeus the shit where the double frame rail is and stick your arm in there, tighten it, and put it back in there. After having cars that are set up like that, having the ability to do them like that, it's a no-brainer that that's the way they got to be done.
If it's a full-blown race car, then that's definitely the way to go. So, yeah, like John talked about, we squared the chassis up. We found the center line of the chassis, so we plumbed off the frame rail on the inside and the front, off the rear of the frame rail, go into the outside of the quarters, plumb bob down off of those, and then the center line of the chassis. We started measuring it, double checking it, cross measuring it, because you might have one where the quarters like in a little bit further, so you don't really want to do that. But if you measure off the quarters, you measure off the frame rails, and then you go in the middle of the rockers and you measure down from the rockers, and if everything's coming out to where it's an 1/8 inch with on your measurements, then this is your center line. So right now we got your center line. We're going to go off this top bell housing bolt here. This bell housing doesn't use that, but we're going to use that on the mid plate to center it.
We don't use that on any of our stuff, really, just so everyone out there.
Yeah.
Like literally our Reed case stuff, I cut it off with a Sawzall. It's not even there.
Yeah, so
I literally run
these two and those two.
I run four bell housing bolts. Now maybe on like the 481X run something different. Matt might disagree, but this is always what I've done. I literally run these two and these two, and the dowels are right there. I don't run any of them on top.
Yeah, the dowels are taking the brunt of the load, so
the rest of it's just really holding it on there. So I don't know. I don't really have anything with a JW bell housing, so I don't know if you cut this shit off or what. Did they all come like this?
They all come like that, and we can leave it. I don't think we need to cut it for clearance or anything. So we'll get the mid plate cut, get our height set, and then after that's in there, we'll take the engine and slap it in there, and then get our angle where we want it, and then start working on the motor plate mounts.
And guys, I'm looking for a one-piece front end fiberglass 4i. So I'm looking. That's what I'd like to do. 4i front end, one piece, and then I'll get like I think Cornbread's got a bubble hood for it that I could buy off him. So if anyone's out there, they have the one from Shonek, but it's $2,000. So I think I guess that's what they go for. But
yeah, our Motor City front, Motor City I think went out of business, but if you have an old Motor City front end.
Yeah, let me know if you guys have any stuff. So just send me a message on Facebook or Instagram or in the comments down below. I'm definitely looking to. I want to be a 4i car, so I think they look good.
Put my gloves on, try to set a good example for our young viewers out there.
I'm literally over here eating a bag of Chex Mix, but I got my safety glasses on, so gotta stay safe while I'm watching Matt work. Look, I was gonna rip the hell out of my pants. I'm sure at the start of the video it was like this big. Every time I go to Lowe's, it gets that much bigger. I bet some people are wondering, Matt, wouldn't it be easier to use a plasma cutter?
That's what I was literally about to say. Like, it's a funny looking plasma cutter.
What's wrong with it? Wait, hit the button. Makes a different noise than before. How much cutting do you have left?
I don't know, a little bit on the mid plate. So, I mean, a lot of cutting if we're trying to trim it up and make it look nice, but to actually get it in there and fit, not a whole lot. But I'm afraid it's gonna catch on fire in my hands.
Literally wearing gloves. I feel like there's nowhere safe to stand.
Got my vice handle.
You gotta let the blade do the work.
I'm putting like hardly any pressure on it. So.
Hey, hey, hey. It was fine until you tried making bends with that thing.
Yeah, you know how it goes. So what I'm trying to do is trying to get it to where if we turn this over the same thing.
Well, it smells like it's on fire.
Dude, look at my jeans.
Oh, it's your jeans that's on fire.
It's actually
Wow.
the grinder that's
It's actually the grinder, yeah.
Your style's on fire right now.
Who, me? Yeah, you like this?
It's like some Kanye shit.
Pow.
How the hell did you do that?
It started off as a very, very, very little rip, and I was like, we'll be fine. And every time I move my knee up, it just rips
Damn,
more.
you're too thick for them jeans.
God, this thing is smoking hot.
I can literally smell it as soon as I walk in. I was like, what the hell is that?
Listen to it.
What is it like? Is it jammed? Oh
What?
my god, it's smoking. It's literally smoking.
Let off of it, dude. Let off. Hey, it sounds like it's normal now. Sounds fine. Sounds fine. Oh, God. You gotta kickstart it.
I think it's not happy right now.
What about letting it cool down for like 5 minutes? What about some water? Dude, that thing, it's like,
Water cooled.
its neck is like that. The bottle of Gatorade. All right, let's see. Are we gonna water cool it?
Yeah.
Hold on, we're coming. We're coming. We're coming. See, look at the smoke. Where's the smoke coming off of?
The motor.
Well, it's coming out down here. Like, all right, take the battery out of it.
Better cool that off too.
I'm just shocked right now at this point.
There's no chance it works after this.
What if that goes fired up in like electrocution? Damn.
Luckily, it's 18 volt.
How you put it in there? There's so much smoke comes pouring out of it.